Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another live edition of Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the 2. I am your host for this evening, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, before we go into tonight's subjects, I want to take this time to dedicate this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk to the late Antonio Inoki, who unfortunately just got the news that he passed away as of officially October 1st, which is what time it is in Japan right now. But Antonio Inoki has passed away at the age of 79. This was a pretty big deal, being that Antonio Inoki is one of the icons, one of the legend icons of Japan when it comes to pro wrestling and MMA. I mean, this man was the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is still going strong to this day. One of the most well-known pro wrestling promotions in Japan and even in the world. He was trained by Karl Gotch and Rikizodan. So very well-known legends. But yeah, was 79 years old, was a politician, he was a pro wrestler. He was a mixed martial artist. Big guy too. He was like 6'3" or 6'4", but very well known in the business, and is actually a WWE Hall of Famer as well. But yeah, he's had quite a career, whether it was pro wrestling, MMA, being a politician. He's done a lot. And to be honest with you, you can't really mention pro wrestling and MMA without mentioning the name Antonio Inoki. So, yeah, I know he was pretty much confined to a wheelchair due to, I think he had a really bad spinal or back issues. So he was confined to a wheelchair pretty much for the remainder of his life. And his wife, it sucks too, because his wife, it was only a few years ago that his wife passed away, Tezuko Tada. So, yeah, this one hurts, y'all. This one hurts. I mean, he's gotten a chance to wrestle with greats like Hulk Hogan, Tatsumi Fujinami. Like I said, was trained by Karl Gotch and Rikizodan. Bob Backlund. I mean, so many names. He was actually a WWF champion, but was never officially recognized in the WWF, unfortunately. But yeah, just this one hurts. This one hurts. I found out a couple of hours ago while I was on the way home from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I was in shock. I was in shock. Hey, John Elite, R.I.P. Antonio Inoki. Yeah, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. I mean, it's because of him we have New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's just, yeah, this one hurts. This one definitely hurts. But, oh man. But let's take a moment of silence to remember the legendary, one of the most iconic wrestlers, people in general in the wrestling, pro wrestling business, MMA, politics, you name it. Antonio Inoki has done it. So let's take a moment of silence as we remember Antonio Inoki. Thank you, everybody, for your cooperation. So for tonight's episode of Pro Wrestling Talk, there's a lot to look forward to this weekend. We got New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest II, which unfortunately won't be streamed live. It'll be on VOD later, but I still want to preview the card. Also, we got the 5-Star Grand Prix finals with Stardom. So we're going to go over the last matchups. There's going to be 12 matches, and then, of course, the 13th match will be the finals, which is the winner of the red block versus the winner of the blue block. We'll also talk some AEW as well, talk some WWE, talk a couple of things. But for the main course will mainly be New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom. But yeah, we're gonna talk a good bit. We're gonna talk a good bit. Hope everybody's had a great week. Shout outs to all those in Florida, all those that may have been impacted by Hurricane Ian. Prayers go up for each and every one of y'all. I hope everybody is okay. I know there's been a lot of damage to many different homes, a lot of flooding. I know it's been raining like crazy all day here in North Carolina. Been under a tropical storm warning as well as flood warning, but just everybody stay safe. And I hope if you have to travel, I hope you get to your destination safely. But if you don't have to travel, definitely stay home, stay safe, wherever you have to be in order to be safe. That's the main thing. Okay, let's talk Stardom to kick things off. First, let me take a sip of coffee. Definitely going to need it. And of course, as you can see, I'm appropriately dressed for this occasion. Got on my Stars jersey. So I've definitely been looking forward to the conclusion of the 5-Star Grand Prix. So we are going to look at these. First of all, we're going to look at these final matchups, and then we're going to look at the standings, and then we're going to go over some scenarios on how we could see the finals play out. Sound good? Okay. So 5-Star Grand Prix finals will be 12 matches. The 13th match will be the finals. So we got 6 Red Star matches and 6 Blue Star matches. Okay, we're going to go through them. We're going to go through them one by one. And I'm going to give my prediction. And of course, anybody watching can join in as well. Okay, we're going to start with, let's see, should we start with the Red Stars or the Blue Stars first? I think we started with the Blue Stars first last time. You know what? Let's start with the Red Stars first. Okay, Red Stars. We have Momokogo versus Unagi Sayaka. I mean, there's really no special implications here. I mean, this is This match is really for bragging rights, as both women are mathematically eliminated. But Unagi Sayaka only has one win so far in the 5-star Grand Prix. So I am actually going to pick Unagi Sayaka to get this last win so that she at least has 2 wins under her belt. So I'm picking her to defeat Momokogo and pick up 2 points. Okay, we got Azumi versus Saki Kashima. Now, Saki Kashima is in good position to play spoiler, as Azumi is one of the top ladies in the running to possibly make it to the finals for the Red Stars. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me pull up the standings, current standings. Here we go. So Unagi Sayaka, Momokogo. Momokogo has 4 points. Unagi Sayaka has 2. I'm picking Unagi Sayaka to win to move up to 4 points. Okay. Saki Kashima has 10 points. Azumi has 14 points. Now, the question is, does Saki Kashima end up playing spoiler and defeating Azumi? You know what? It's tough, being that you have to remember who Saki Kashima has beaten in the 5-star Grand Prix. Even though she's mathematically eliminated, she's beaten Utami Hayashishita, Tam Nakano, Maika, Shuri, and Risa Sarah. Those are big victories, huge victories over big names. So Azumi, who's a high-speed champion, you know what? I think Saki Kashima's going to pull it off and play spoiler and defeat Azumi. Yep, I'm calling it. As much as a lot of folks don't want to hear that, I think Saki Kashima is going to play spoiler and upset Azumi. Okay. We have Koguma versus Utami Hayashishita. Ooh. Ooh. This is tough. This is tough. Koguma has 12 points. Utami has 14. So even though Koguma is mathematically eliminated, she could play spoiler as well on Utami. And I mean, Koguma has gotten a few big wins as well. She's beaten Shuri. She's beaten Azumi. She's beaten Saki Kashima. Like I said, Saki Kashima has gotten a handful of big wins. So, I mean, Koguma is definitely capable of pulling off the upset. I think she's definitely capable of pulling off the upset. But you know what? I am going to say this ends in a draw. I think this ends in a draw. I'm going to say it ends in a draw. Koguma Utami ends in a draw. Okay. Tam Nakano versus Saki. Tam Nakano has 14 points. Saki has 10. Of course, we already know Saki is mathematically eliminated. I'm picking Tam Nakano to get this victory and get 16 points. So I'm picking Tam Nakano to win. We got Maika versus Himeka. Maika versus Himeka. And you know what? I think this is going to end in a draw. Maika versus Himeka. I think this is going to end in a draw. So, yeah, I'm picking 2 draws to happen in the Red Stars. As crazy as that sounds. We got, and then we have Risa Sarah versus Shuri. I know this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound crazy, but you know what? Remember, last time Shuri defended her World of Stardom championship against Risa Sarah, which was like maybe a couple of months or so ago, maybe like 2 or so months ago, Shuri defeated her, pretty much made her pass out with a rear naked choke. You know what? I would not be shocked if Risa Sarah paid Shuri back by defeating her and knocking her out of the 5-star Grand Prix. So you know what? I'm going to say Risa Sarah gets revenge on Shuri and knocks her out of the Red Stars. And therefore, my pick to advance to the finals for the Red Stars is Tam Nakano. That's my pick. All right. Let's look at the Blue Stars. Let's look at the Blue Star matchup. So for the Blue Stars, we have Mirai versus Sayaita. Let's see. Mirai has 13 points. Sayaita has 4 points. I could see Mirai picking up that victory. I could see her winning. I'm going to say Mirai. Mirai wins. Okay. We got a Cosmic Angels showdown. We got Natsupoi versus Mina Shirakawa. Let's see. Mina Shirakawa has 8 points. Natsupoi has 12, which, I mean, both ladies are mathematically eliminated. I mean, you know, as crazy as this sounds, it would not surprise me if Mina Shirakawa pulled off the upset and beat Natsupoi. But I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm picking Natsupoi to pick up the victory and defeat Mina Shirakawa. All right. Hazuki versus Momo Watanabe. So Hazuki definitely needs this victory. And you know what? I think she's going to get the victory. I'm picking Hazuki to defeat Momo Watanabe. She's lost 4 straight, but I think she will make things right and win this final match to get herself 2 points. So I'm picking Hazuki to defeat Momo Watanabe. Aew Soraya versus Sayaka Kamatani. Let's see. Aew Soraya has 10 points. Sayaka Kamatani has 13. You know what? I'm going to say Sayaka Kamatani gets the victory. I think she'll beat Aew Soraya. I'm picking her to win. Okay, we got Mayu Iwatani versus Starlight Kid. Ooh. Former best friends. Mayu has 13 points. Starlight Kid has 14 points. As crazy as this sounds, I think Mayu and Starlight Kid will come to a draw. I think that match ends in a draw. And then we have a big one. We have the big one. Julia versus Suzu Suzuki, which Julia has the biggest advantage, as in all that she has to do is win this match, and she's in by default. Because she wins, she gets 17 points. So all she has to do is beat Suzu Suzuki. But this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. But you know what? As much as I hate to say it, I think Julia does some way, somehow pull off the victory. And I think we're going to get a Tam Nakano Julia rematch, even though this will be in the 5-Star Grand Prix finals. So yeah, Julia from the Blue Stars versus Tam Nakano of the Red Stars. And I surely hope that Tam Nakano wins that match and wins the 5-Star Grand Prix. I'm still sticking with Tam Nakano as my pick. I'm still sticking with her as my pick. So, those are the 12 matches. And like I said, the 13th match will be the finals. So, let's look at scenarios. So, Red Stars. So, the only ladies that are still alive, and, pretty much this last match is going to determine a lot of things. So, the ladies still alive are Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, Tam Nakano, Maika, Himeka, Shuri. Those are the only ladies still alive. For Utami to win, all Utami has to do, let's see, she has to beat Koguma. And actually, she'll need to beat Koguma, and she'll need Maika and Himeka to draw. And she will need Azumi to lose. Yeah. She'll need to beat Koguma. She'll need Azumi to lose. And she'll need Maika and Himeka to draw. If all that happens, Utami should win. Yeah, Utami should win. Now, for Azumi, let's see. Azumi would have to beat Saki Kashima. She would need, let's see. She would need Utami to lose to Koguma. And she would need Himeka to lose to Maika. If all that happens, then Azumi will win the Red Stars. Tam Nakano, for her to win the Red Stars, she would need to defeat Saki. She would need Utami to lose. She would need Utami to lose. She would need Azumi to lose. And she would need Shuri to lose. If that's the case, then yeah, that would mean, Saki Kashima upset Azumi. Yeah. So, yeah, for Tam Nakano to win, she would need to beat Saki. Azumi would have to lose. Utami would have to lose. And Shuri would have to lose. Oh, man, that's a lot more than I thought. Okay. For Maika to win, she would need to defeat Himeka. She would need Tam Nakano to lose. And I think that's it. Yeah, Maika wins her match and Tam Nakano loses. And then Maika should win the Red Stars. Now for Himeka, she would need to defeat Maika. She would need Tam Nakano and Azumi to lose. and she would need Shuri to lose. So Himeka has a little bit tougher road. For Shuri, she would need to beat Risa Sarah. She would need Micah to lose. She would need Utami to lose. And then Shuri would make it to the Red Stars. So pretty much I need to alter my picks. So pretty much in order for Tam Nakano to win, that means I'm picking Utami to lose to Koguma, Azumi to lose to Saki Kashima, and Shuri to lose to Risa Sarah. Yeah. But Tam Nakano would have to beat Saki. So yeah, if my idea and prediction is for Tam Nakano to win the whole thing, that would be what would have to happen. So that's how that goes. Okay. So those are the scenarios, the ideal scenarios for the Red Stars. Okay, for the Blue Stars. So the ladies that still have a chance are Hazuki, Julia, Starlight Kid, and Suzu Suzuki. Yeah. So let me see here. So let's look at Suzu Suzuki. So for Suzu, in order for her to win, she would need to defeat Julia. Like that's a must. She has to defeat Julia. That's one of the main chances she has. So Suzu would need to beat Julia, and she would need Hazuki to lose. She would need actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. If Suzu Suzuki wins and Hazuki loses, then yeah. Then yeah, she would win the Blue Stars because she has the tiebreaker over Starlight Kid. So for Suzu to make it to the final, she has to beat Julia, and Hazuki would have to lose to Momo Watanabe. Okay, for Starlight Kid, she would need to beat Mayu, and she would need, let's see, she would need Hazuki to lose. She would need Julia to lose. And actually, wait a minute. Wait, can Starlight Kid still do this? Because the thing is, she lost to Julia, but she also lost to Suzu Suzuki. Maybe. No. Dang. Actually, now I don't even know if Starlight Kid could still do it. Because even if Julia has a draw with Suzu, that still gives Julia 16 points. And the highest amount of points that Starlight Kid can get is 16. And the thing is, Starlight Kid has lost to Suzu and Julia. So I don't even think Starlight Kid could make it, to be honest with you. Even if she did beat Mayu. Yeah, so it looks like Starlight Kid's not eligible. She might be mathematically eliminated. Let's see. And Mirai, well, nah, I don't think Mirai can either. Okay, so Suzu, Julia, can no, Saya can't either. Saya can't either. So it looks like the only ladies that are eligible are Hazuki, Julia, and Suzu Suzuki. Now for Hazuki, all she has to do is win her match, and she would need Suzu Suzuki to win her match to beat Julia. And then Hazuki would advance because she's beaten both Julia and Suzu, so she would have the tiebreaker. So all Hazuki has to do is win, and she needs Julia to lose or tie. And then all Julia has to do is win her match, and she's in by default. So yeah, potentially Blue Stars finalists could either come down to Hazuki, Julia, or Suzu Suzuki. For the Red Stars, it comes down to either Utami, Azumi, Tam Nakano, Maika, Himeka, or Shuri. So a little bit more narrow for the Blue Stars compared to the Red Stars, but still, it should be a really, really good last bunch of matches. But yeah, that is the rundown of the 5-Star Grand Prix finals. And like I said, last year it was won by Shuri, who went on to win the World of Stardom Championship by defeating Utami Hayashishita. So we'll have to see who can pull it off this year. But that will do it for 5-Star Grand Prix. And like I said, after everything is in the books and the winner is crowned, I'll do one last recap of the final standings and go from there. All right, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, Royal Quest II is also going on this weekend. The finals of the Grand Prix is October 1st. Royal Quest II will be on October 1st and 2nd. So 2 nights. Let's take a look at the card that they have for night 1. Okay. Let's see. They got a singles match. Gabriel Kidd versus Dan Maloney. So it looks like a battle between young lions. You know what? I'll pick Gabriel Kidd. Why not? We have the second match. We got Gideon Gray and Great-O-Khan from United Empire versus Michael Oku and Ricky Knight Jr. I'm going to go with Gideon Gray and Great-O-Khan. We got a women's tag team match. Kanji and Alpha Female, Jazzy Gabert, taking on Alex Windsor and Ava White. Of course, Alex Windsor is the international princess champion from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. And Ava White and Jazzy Gabert are both in the IWGP Women's Championship Tournament. They'll be facing each other in day 2. But for that match, you know what? I'm going to pick Alex Windsor and Ava White to pick up the victory. Okay, we got a trios match. We got LIJ's Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito taking on Suzuki-gun's Doki, El Desperado, and Zack Sabre Jr. I am going to pick LIJ to win this match. Picking LIJ. Okay, we got Chaos's Tomohiro Ishii and Kazuchika Okada taking on Bad Dude Tito and Jonah. I'm going Chaos. Okay, we have a 8-man tag match. We have Jado, Hikuleo, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tama Tonga taking on Bullet Club's Gato, Doc Gallows, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and Switchblade Jay White. I'm picking Bullet Club. Picking Bullet Club to pick up the victory. All right, we got the IWGP Tag Team titles on the line. As the champions, FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood finally making their first title defense, taking on the NJPW Strong Tag Team Champions, Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, also part of United Empire. This should be a great match. This should be a really great match, but I'm picking FTR to retain the titles, but definitely will be a great match. And then looks like the main event will be a special single match as the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay will take on the Shooter, Shota Umino. That should be a really good match, but I'm picking Will Ospreay to pick up the victory. That's a pretty good card for night one. Definitely a pretty good card. So that's night one. And this will be taking place in London, England, at the Crystal Palace National Sports Center. That's the venue for this event. Let's take a look at the card for night two, which will be at the same venue. Let's see. All right, so for night two, the first match is a tag team match. Suzuki Guns, Doki and El Desperado taking on Robbie X and Michael Oku. I'm going Suzuki Gun for the win. Got LIJ's Hiromu Takahashi and Sanada taking on Luke Jacob and Ethan Allen. Picking LIJ to get the victory. All right. We have the official first round IWGP Women's Championship Tournament match. Ava White takes on Jazzy Gabert. I'm picking the alpha female to win this first round match. So Jazzy Gabert for the win. Okay. We have a 10-man tag match. We have Ricky Knight Jr., Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, and FTR, both members of FTR, taking on United Empire's Will Ospreay, the Great Okan, Gideon Gray, and Mark Davis of Kyle Fletcher of Aussie Open. Ooh, this ought to be a chaotic match, but you know what? I'm going to pick United Empire to pick up the victory. So United Empire for the win. All right, we got a 6-man tag. We got Hikuleo, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tama Tonga taking on Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows of Bullet Club. This is tough. But you know what? I'm gonna pick Bullet Club again. I might have them backwards, but I'm gonna pick Bullet Club again. All right, we got a singles match. Kazuchika Okada taking on Bad Dude Tito. I'm picking Okada. Okada for the win, totally. We got Tomohiro Ishii versus Jonah. Ooh, that ought to be good. That ought to be real good. But you know what? I'm picking Jonah to win. I'm picking Jonah to win. And then the main event, special singles match, will be Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Saber Jr. Oh, man. You know what? This could go either way. This could actually go either way. But you know what? I'm going to go Zack Saber Jr. Why not? I'm going to go Zack Saber Jr. to defeat Tetsuya Naito. Something he has done before, so it wouldn't be a shocker. But that is your card for night 2 of New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest II. So, 2-night event. Definitely looking forward to that. Like I said, unfortunately, they won't be streaming this live, but it'll be available on VOD, I guess, in a couple of days or something like that. It's kind of a bummer, but I can't wait to get around to watching it. And then, as we get ready to enter into October, for New Japan Pro Wrestling, they got Declaration of Power coming up Monday, October 10th, which I believe there's going to be a couple of matches, key matches, like the KOPW trophy is going to be on the line. Shingo Takagi defending against El Phantasmo. John Elite says, card looks good. Bummer it ain't live. Yeah, that is such a bummer. That really is. So hopefully they'll have the archive up ASAP. Kushida and Taiji Ishimori. Ooh, that should be a good match. And Tamatanga gets a shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship as they take on Switchblade Jay White. Somebody just came into the chat. Oh, that's in Japanese. I'm sorry, I can't read Japanese. I'm sorry. I don't know what this person said, but I unfortunately I can't read Japanese. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's at Declaration of Power. We got the Battle Autumn Tour starting October 14th and runs to November 5th. So another batch of shows there. And let's not forget, R.I.P. Inoki. Yes. Rest in peace, Antonio Inoki, the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the biggest icons, biggest legends in the world of pro wrestling and MMA. 79 years old. And let's not forget, in the States, in New York, we got Rumble on the 44th Street, 2 shows actually, the night before and Rumble on 44th Street. October 27th and 28th, both will be in New York. They still haven't announced a card for those shows yet, but they will feature Stardom talent. So I know a couple of folks that are going to be going to that. So that'll be a nice way to end the month of October for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So yeah, October is going to be a pretty busy month for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then November is going to get crazy because you got NJPW Tamashii in New Zealand and Australia. That's in November. You got the historic crossover NJPW Stardom collaboration show November 20th. That's going to be really big. And we also are going to have the World Tag League and the Super Junior Tag League throughout November and then going into December. So New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be very busy even before getting to Wrestle Kingdom. So definitely a lot to look forward to. But we're kicking off the month with Royal Quest II. So that's going to be really, really cool. So let's see. Let's go ahead and go on to AEW. First off, I got to go ahead and get this out of the way. AEW, Saraya. What do y'all think? Do y'all think she's going to be wrestling? Do you think she's going to be just a special enforcer? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's a big deal, you know, her coming to AEW, her getting signed to AEW, but it's like, what is she going to be doing? You know, I mean, if she's cleared to wrestle, then great. But if not, I would assume she'll be like some sort of enforcer, or probably will have a big something to do with the women's division, you know, maybe on a different capacity than, say, Madison Rayne, who's like one of the, I guess, head trainers. But yeah, she had some smack talk back and forth between Britt Baker and herself. But I don't know. I mean, Toni Storm and Serena Deeb ended up being a lumberjack match, which, yeah, I don't know how I felt about that. John Ali says maybe a manager or GM if she isn't cleared to wrestle. Perhaps. I mean, it's still kind of up in the air, it seems. But we'll see what happens. But it's definitely a big deal because she got a huge pop. She got a ginormous pop when she showed up last week. So we'll have to see what happens with Saraya. Oh, Bandito. Oh my goodness. It was so good to see Bandito get a shot at the ROH World Championship. And he put on a clinic against Chris Jericho. That was actually a very enjoyable match. Yeah, Chris Jericho got the victory, but man, that was one heck of a main event. And not only that, it was really cool to see afterwards. I know I saw this on Twitter. Bandito give Tony Khan a big embracing hug and lift. So I think Bandito got offered a contract, the AEW contract. I just don't think we've seen the graphic yet, but I think he's been given an AEW contract or maybe an ROH contract. I don't know. But some way, somehow, Bandito got a contract. I'm sorry, after an embrace like that with Tony Khan, Bandito got offered a contract. Let's keep it real. He got offered a contract. It's just a matter of time before we see the graphic. We did see Roosh get his graphic. So Roosh is all elite. Very happy to see that. I love Roosh. Definitely love Roosh. But man, Bandito. I got a chance to see Bandito live twice through ROH and actually through the Crockett Cup when he teamed up with Flip Gordon. Made it through the first round of the Crockett Cup, as a matter of fact. But yeah, definitely love Bandito. That dude is great. And I hope he becomes a singles champion in AEW. Heck, I would love to see him go up against Pac. I don't think Bandito versus Pac has ever happened before. I don't think that's ever happened before. They need to get Bandito versus Pac. That would, oh man, that would be a banger of a match. I would love to see that. I mean, both of those guys are pretty much built very similar. So Bandito versus Pac, shoot, I'd pay to see that. I would totally pay to see that. I wasn't that big of a fan of Ricky Starks burying Eli Isom. I like Eli Isom. I think he's a good wrestler. It just sucked to see him get buried. John Moxley versus Juice Robinson. That was a good match. That was definitely a good match. Not sure what's gonna happen with Juice Robinson. I know we all know he's pulled a fast one before about leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then bam, what happened? He ended up joining the Bullet Club. So I don't know if this time around he's really leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not going to fall for that until I see something official. That's all I'm going to say. John Elite says Bandito versus Moxley. I could see it. I could see it. Why not? Why not? Why not? I will give kudos to AEW. The match between Bryan Danielson and Matt Menard actually lasted a decent while. He didn't get squashed. So I thought that was pretty nice to see. That was pretty nice to see. That was actually a decent length of a match. Now, I know we knew he wasn't going to win, but still, it was a decent match. He didn't get squashed. So that was pretty cool. That was definitely cool. And of course, after the main event match, Chris Jericho pretty much dedicated his ROH championship run to pretty much take the honor out of Ring of Honor, make it Ring of Jericho, and pretty much wants to take out every big name of Ring of Honor, and even took out Bobby Cruz and gave him a Judas effect. So pretty much what Chris Jericho wants to do to ROH is pretty much what the NSA wants to do to Stardom. So similar stories, I guess. John Lee says, when Switchblade Jay White said he was leaving New Japan last year after losing to Ibushi, I fell for it. Yeah, that's another good example. That's actually another good example. Good point. Good point. Switchblade Jay White did the same thing. Definitely did the same thing. Look where he's at now. He's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So, hey, sometimes it works out in your favor. But I have to say, overall, that was a pretty decent Dynamite. Like I said, it was really cool seeing Bandito compete. Roosh is all elite. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Bandito got offered a contract. Got to see MJF talk. Had a war of words with Wheeler Yuta. I'm really hoping that is a good long match, that both men get time. I don't see Wheeler Yuta winning, but still, I think that should be a great match. MJF versus Wheeler Yuta, that should be good. That should be really good. It was good to see the Acclaim defend the AEW tag team titles. You had Private Party, you had the Butcher and the Blade. So it was good to see them pick up a win and get their first successful tag title defense. And, I could definitely see the Acclaim have a good long run. They're definitely over with the crowd. I think they'll have a very long run, for sure. Jamie Hayter and Willow Nightingale, that was a good match as well. And even Jamie Hayter is over with the crowd, even though the face turn didn't happen. She's still very well over with the crowd. But see, now I think it's at the point where they're going to have to do something different with Jamie Hayter in order to turn her face, because she didn't turn on Britt Baker like we all thought was going to happen. So, I mean, if they're going to turn her face, they're going to have to do something different. They're going to have to do something different. Maybe Britt Baker will turn on her. Maybe that's how you lead to it, but I don't see Jamie Hayter pulling the trigger. I think Britt Baker would have to do it. So we'll have to see what happens because Jamie Hayter is so over it. There's a lot of fans that even want Jamie Hayter to even be singles champion, whether it's the AEW Women's Champion or even the TBS Champion, which I would not complain about that because I'm at the point where anybody, please take that belt off of Jade Cargill. But it looks like it may be leading to Nyla Rose getting a one-on-one shot against Jade Cargill. And you know what? Nyla Rose would have the opportunity to make history. She could end up being the first woman to have held both the AEW Women's Championship and the TBS Championship. So, hey, that'd be history making for Nyla Rose. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I wouldn't be totally against Nyla Rose dethroning Jade Cargill, but something tells me that if they do book Jade to win, there's going to be interference. But we'll see. We shall see. But I would not be against Nyla Rose dethroning Jade Cargill. Because when you think about it, Nyla Rose didn't really have that long of a AEW Women's Championship title run. She didn't really have that lengthy of a title run. And Shida still holds the record for longest reigning AEW Women's Champion, which, honestly, I don't think Shida is going to last too much longer in AEW. I mean, right now, Shida's busy in Japan, and she has been busy in Japan. You know, I think the last match she had with AEW was at All Out, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Shida ended up going full-time freelancer. Because, I mean, look at what she's done. I mean, she's a double champion now in Pro Wrestling Wave and Ice Ribbon. She works in Makai Project. She's worked in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. So, I mean, honestly, shoot, there's probably give it time. She'll probably poke her head into Stardom. Who knows? John Elite says, "Where's Riho?" The last I saw, Riho wrestled at the Tokyo Game Show where they were showcasing AEW Fight Forever. She wrestled there, and I think she might be on the Wrestle Princess card for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think she's supposed to be wrestling for TJPW coming up. Hold up. I thought I saw her on the card. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah. She is on the card. Wrestle Princess 3. Yeah, she's teaming up with Hikari Noah to take on Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito, October 9th. So yeah, Riho's in Japan. So she's also been busy in Japan. But yeah, she'll be wrestling at Wrestle Princess 3 for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling on October 9th. So yeah, Riho's been pretty busy, but yeah, Riho. I'm trying to remember when was the last time Riho wrestled in AEW. It's been a hot minute. Now that I think of it, dang, I don't even remember the last time Riho wrestled in AEW. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. So yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. And Riho is another one I don't see lasting much longer with AEW, to be honest with you. Because I mean, Riho could pretty much go anywhere, especially in Japan. I mean, Stardom, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, Ice Ribbon, like Riho could go anywhere. So she might be another one that might end up freelancing. Same with Sheeta. So John Elite says, I'm not sure if it was at one of the Battle of the Belts against Britt when she was still AEW Women's Champ. Oh no, she definitely wrestled again even after that because I was at that show. She got injured. She had the collarbone, fractured collarbone, and she did come back and wrestle. I want to say it was on Dark, but yeah, she's definitely wrestled again on AEW since returning from that injury. I think it was on Dark. I don't think it was on Dynamite. Because when you also think about it, Sheeta hasn't really wrestled that much on Dynamite recently. Like I said, she had the Fatal 4-Way on All Out, but Sheeta hasn't really wrestled a lot lately on Dynamite. So, and I think pretty much it's the same with Riho. But yeah, she's definitely wrestled again since returning from that injury in AEW. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. But but yeah, like, and Yuka Sakazaki is another one as well. Um Although she's got a big uh Princess of Princess Championship title shot coming up against Shoko Nakajima. So she's gonna be busy. Also, I might as well go ahead and mention this. How do y'all feel about Kenny Omega's comment about how if it was up to him, 80% of the roster on AEW he wouldn't have hired? How do y'all feel about that? Do you agree with them? Or do you think that's an overreaction? Do you think that's, mean? How do y'all feel about Kenny Omega's comment? That if it was up to him, 80% of the AEW roster wouldn't even have been hired. Does he have a point? Because I know that was one of the big topics recently with Kenny Omega. And word is, I don't know what's going to happen with CM Punk, but supposedly the word is that AEW might be looking to buy out the rest of his contract and just let him go his merry way. I mean, I don't know if he's going to take the opportunity to apologize for how he carried himself on the media scrum. And then again, CM Punk is not one that I would think would be known to apologize for anything. But I feel like this whole situation has come down to who does everybody have, who has who's back? Because I feel like it's going to come down to the elite, support for the elite, or support for CM Punk. Because it has been brought up that the Young Bucks did, do share some of the blame for the incident, especially backstage. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like if CM Punk walks away or gets let go, bought out from his AEW contract, number one, I don't see him going back to WWE. I think that ship has sailed. Even though Triple H may be, the man, I can't see CM Punk returning to WWE. I think that door's closed, tightly shut. And honestly, that might be it for CM Punk. I don't know, if he has any more chances left, or if he's burned too many bridges. You know what I mean? So I don't know, y'all. I don't know if this is something that can be fixed, but something tells me it might be over for CM Punk if they do buy out his contract, which is looking like is going to happen. John Elite says, definitely don't see Punk going back to the WWE. Any chance Punk goes back to the UFC? Ooh, after the embarrassment that he got? I doubt it. I doubt it. Nah, he don't want to embarrass himself like that again. Nah, he would be the laughing stock of the UFC. Yeah, nah. To be honest, and I really doubt that Impact will even give him a glance. I doubt that. Nor New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I just feel like it looks like this is ending up to be one of those CM Punk was given an opportunity and he blew it. So I don't know if he has any continues left. Because he's burned a good bit of bridges. So if this doesn't work out with AEW, I think he might have to go into a different profession or something. John Elite says, if he's gone from AEW, maybe he hangs up the boots. Maybe so, to be honest with you. To be honest, yeah. I just feel like he's had too many chances. And especially a big opportunity to reboot his wrestling career through joining AEW. And, with things going like this, it doesn't look good for him. It really doesn't look good for him. Not only that, Kota Ibushi might be completely done with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, the Elite. I mean, how would that really look? The Elite no longer part of AEW, who was there to kind of pretty much help start AEW. That would be really weird. John Elite says both of his title reigns weren't even that long. Facts. But the tough part is if the Elite, if the Young Bucks, if Kenny Omega, if they're gone from AEW, then there's no telling where I could see them going. I definitely don't see them going to the WWE. Which word is that WWE supposedly is trying to reach out to other promotions and whatnot for talent for maybe, another potential collaboration. And word is that included Japanese talent. But y'all got Saraya sitting right there. Well, y'all got Saraya sitting right there. Y'all got Meiko Satomura sitting right there. What more do y'all need? Well, I guess this ushers into WWE now. WWE. I gotta be honest with you. Couple of things that stood out. Number one, Bianca Belair and Aew Sorai's match. Is it me, or did it seem like Bianca Belair just dominated that whole match? Maybe it's just me, but it looked like Bianca Belair dominated Aew, which did not make any sense to me. Because I know they've wrestled before in NXT, but there is no way Bianca should have been completely dominant that whole match over Aew Soraya, one of the best wrestlers in the world. John Ali says Meiko hasn't been on NXT since her match with Roxanne. Facts. And Saraya is still missing. Somebody might want to put her on a milk carton because Saraya is still missing. Did they leave her in the UK? Because she been missing. I don't know what the heck is up with that. But yeah, I was a little disappointed in that Bianca Aew match. Aew pretty much got dominated that match. Yeah, I was really disappointed. Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano teaming up. I like it, but I still think they both should be single stars. But they got a little thing going there, so I guess it's cool. Also, welcome back, Candace Larae. Candace Larae has returned, and she is now officially on Monday Night Raw, and she pretty much squashed Nikki ASH. But if you notice, after the match, she took off the mask. Uh-oh. I think Nikki ASH, I think that gimmick might be going away. I hope so. She needs to go back to her sanity self. That sanity gimmick, Nikki needs to go back to being Nikki Cross. John Ali says, I can't even picture an AEW without the Elite. Yeah, it would definitely look weird. But with how things have been going, it's definitely not impossible. But yeah, welcome back, Candace LeRae. So good to have her back wrestling. She's a great wrestler. So yeah, we got Johnny Gargano and Candace LeRae back in the ring. That's awesome. And who knows? We'll have to see what they do storyline wise with Candace LeRae. Who knows? They might try to renew a rivalry between her and Aew Soraya. Aew Soraya got the best of her back in NXT. Maybe Candace LeRae will get some revenge on Raw. But I'll be curious to see what they do with Candace LeRae. It's just so good to have her back. John Ali says, glad to see Candace back in the WWE. Kind of weird that she used her heel music instead of her face music. Interesting that both her and Johnny returned to WWE in Canada. True. But yeah, it looks like Candace is going to rock the Poison Pixie. And yeah, as you said, she came out to that heel music, but came out as a face, all smiles, slapping hands with fans. So, yeah. But I do really hope with Nikki ASH taking the mask off after the match, I really hope that's the signal. That means that gimmick is about to end. Because she really needs to go back to Nikki Cross, like Sanity Nikki Cross, where she was her best. So here's hoping that happens. So couple of things with NXT. One, I mean, it looks like the setup is going to be a triple threat for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker, JD McDonough, and Ilya Dragunov, who returned. I'm guessing it's going to be at Halloween Havoc, which, I mean, I kind of figured that was what was going to happen when Ilya Dragunov returned. So we'll have to see how that goes. And you know something? It would not surprise me if that's how Ilya Dragunov won the NXT Championship. Because you got to remember, he never lost that NXT UK Championship. He had to relinquish it due to injury. So maybe this is how Ilya Dragunov wins the title. John Elite says, hopefully Nikki officially ditches the superhero gimmick. I really liked her sanity gimmick. Facts. That was when she was at her best. It made me think of the last woman standing match that she had back at NXT against Asuka. That was a beautiful, brutal match that really Nikki came this close to beating Asuka and ending her streak back at NXT. And that was, to this day, one of the best matches for Nikki Cross. I mean, her and Asuka tore each other up. So I really hope we get that Nikki Cross back. And it looks like Kaylee Ray is pretty much being set up to be next in line to challenge Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. But we'll see. I hope we get a new set for NXT. The new logo with the 2.0 background just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I hope they change things up as well. Like ditch the whole Nickelodeon background, because you can still see that. Now I know Wes Lee earned a shot at the North American title by defeating Tony D'Angelo, but Tony D'Angelo took a really nasty fall, and it looked like Tony D'Angelo got seriously hurt. So they had to pretty much end the match sooner than we wanted to. But I hope Tony D'Angelo's okay. I really do. It looked pretty bad. So hopefully he's all right. Because that's a big heel currently in NXT. And with him going down, that's gonna really hurt. Sol Ruka made her debut. She's all right. She seems all right, I guess. She's all right. But what happened to Tony D? Did he hit his head hard on the turnbuckle, or did his knee buckle? Oh, it was the turnbuckle. The collision on the turnbuckle, and then he had a nasty fall after that. That was how that happened. From the collision, yeah. It looked bad. It definitely looked bad. So hopefully he's all right. But yeah, that did look pretty scary. It did look pretty scary. It was good to see Ilya Dragunov wrestle. He looked good. Beat Zion Quinn. That was a big victory for him. This storyline with Damon Kemp taking down Diamond Mine has been getting pretty intense. But it also makes me wonder, does him taking out Roderick Strong, it makes me wonder, is this how they write him off? Is this how they write him off from NXT? Could Roddy be going to the main roster? I don't know what's going to happen with Roderick Strong now that I know of. I don't even know what his contract situation is like. But I just have this feeling that Damon Kemp taking out Roddy Strong is how they write him off. But we'll see. And then Gallus gets suspended after their loss to Brooks and Jensen in a pub rules match, which pub rules match not even being in a pub. It's crazy. It's crazy. How's it a pub rules match and they're not at a pub? Like, just call it a freaking hardcore match and be done with it. Just make it a no holds barred match and be done with it. John Lee says, didn't Roderick Strong ask for his release not too long ago? I remember he did. I want to say it was a little while ago, but I do remember he did. So I don't know. Maybe this is the prelude to it. I know Bobby Fish is over in Impact, and he really wanted, to get Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole back over to WWE with him, and he tried to contact Triple H and maybe a reuniting the Undisputed Era, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Roderick Strong, but you're right, John Lee. He definitely has asked for his release before. Definitely. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I don't know. I think the whole Diamond Mine thing might be coming to an end. Which, I mean, with Stokely Hathaway getting let go and him being in AEW really kind of changes things. But yeah. So SmackDown, it was good to see Shotzi bring the tank back on SmackDown. She's got the tank back, so that was really cool to see. McIntyre, Owens, and Gargano teamed up. So wow, Johnny Gargano on SmackDown and on Raw. Good to see him be active there. Sheamus had a death wish by trying to take on Imperium all by himself. Man, he got a death wish. But John Lee says, glad the tank's back with Shotzi. Agreed. Now my next question is, Triple H, when are you going to start doing something with Xia Li? I keep seeing all these Instagram videos with Xia Li training and weightlifting and training and martial arts and training and running and cardio and training. When the heck are y'all going to do something with Xia Li? Y'all haven't done anything with Xia Li since the tag team title tournament. When are y'all going to do something with Xia Li? Like, what the heck? Xia Li's fresh. She's ready. When are y'all going to do something with Xia Li? It's like, dang, you bring back Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is back in the picture. When are you going to do something with Xia Li? Shayna. Where'd Shayna go? I don't know. I don't know. Los Lotharios can't get a victory. Ronda Rousey and Natalya, who were once friends. Now Ronda's making Natalya tap out. Ugh, yeah. And to be honest with y'all, looking at Extreme Rules looks like it could be promising, but there's one problem. There's only 2 title matches for Extreme Rules, both women's titles. Why are there only 2 title matches? So right now, so far, they got 6 matches on the card, and only 2 of them are title matches. Like, I'm sorry, but pay-per-views, you really should be having more than 2 titles on the line at your pay-per-view events. You know, like, that's the one of the things I don't really like about WWE and how they do their pay-per-views. Like, your pay-per-view should be also showcasing the titles being defended. Like, and it makes it even more difficult, being that you have one tag team with 2 sets of tag championships and one singles wrestler with both sets of main championships. So y'all are kind of shooting yourselves in the foot with that. John Elite says, no US, IC, or tag title matches. Yeah. And the Intercontinental title is going to be defended next week on SmackDown. So, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, and that's why the whole unification with the tag titles and the 2 main titles just seem really, really dumb. Like, I just think it's just ridiculous. And then you got this pay-per-view coming up in a week, and you only have 2 title matches. 2. And Roman Reigns ain't even defending his titles until Crown Jewel. And that's in November against Logan Paul. Like, I don't get that. John Elite says, why did they unify the tag and world titles in the first place? That is a good question, my friend. That is a really good question. And I still don't have an answer for that. And the thing that's sad is, let's keep it real. Roman Reigns is a part-timer. And yet your 2 top main roster titles he has. I mean, even the Usos wrestle more, but it's at the point where the Usos haven't been really defending the tag titles as much. But you got Roman Reigns, a part-timer, holding both main championships. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know why they haven't tried to do something about that. And then when you think about it, now they have to start coming up with tag teams to go up against Aew and Dakota Kai. I mean, there's not really any tag teams to go up against them. I'm sorry, but Alexa Bliss and Asuka is not a legit tag team. Let's just keep it real. Raw is left without a tag or world title. Yeah. Like, the only thing I guess I could see happening is maybe Bayley dethrones Bianca Belair, and Bayley is Raw Women's Champ and Damage Control all have gold. They might do that, but I don't know. Candace and Indy, when Indy gets called up, whenever that will be, hopefully soon. But I mean, but the thing is, like, that's why those women's tag team titles, if they would have just been defended on all three brands in the first place, then NXT wouldn't have had to create their own set. Because it's like, what tag teams do you have in the women's division? Like, and that's a problem that I think that is happening in WWE, Impact Wrestling, because Impact Wrestling doesn't really have a women's tag team division. And not only that, those knockout tag titles, those are trash. Those might as well be as bad as the 24/7 championship. I mean, realistically, if there's any sort of promotion that has a legit tag team division or has the type of bodies where you could do legit tag teams, is Stardom. Because Stardom, faction based, you know? You don't really have much for women's tag teams in WWE aside from Caden Carter and Katana Chance, Toxic Attraction. I mean, Io and Dakota are tag champs. You know, Candace and, like you said, Indy when she gets called up. But, like, you know, and also, why have we not seen Asuka versus Io on TV yet? My guess is they're either saving that for a pay-per-view or at some point Asuka and Io are going to team up. I think that's why we haven't seen them face each other yet. Because if you notice, whenever there's a brawl, how often do you see Asuka and Io throwing punches at each other? You really don't. You really don't. So my guess is they're saving Asuka versus Io for pay-per-view, or they're going to reunite them at some point. Because after all, Asuka and Io were 2/3 of Triple Tails with Mayu Shirai. So, but honestly, women's tag team division just isn't there for WWE. It's definitely not there for Impact Wrestling. It could be there for AEW, like if they decided to actually put some action to it, but they still got a lot of work to be done on their women's division anyway. But who knows? With Saraya being acquired, that could play a role. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. John Elite says totally dropped the ball on Kairi Sane and Asuka when Kairi was still with the WWE. Yes and no. I think more so yes. They did do a couple of things right with Kairi in her WWE career. I mean, she won the Mae Young Classic. She got a chance to team up with Aew Soraya as the Sky Pirates. They were undefeated in NXT. Kairi was showcased a lot in NXT, a whole lot in NXT. My biggest issue with Kairi Sane was her short NXT Women's Championship run. Way too short. It was cool that she wrestled at Evolution, you know, the first and only WWE Women's pay-per-view. Kairi when she got moved to the main roster, I mean, her and Asuka did win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. My thing with that is Kairi never got a chance to have a singles run on the main roster. And I think that really hurt her. So there was some hit and miss with Kairi. Maybe equally hit as much as miss, but I just feel like it was one of those where Kairi really should have had an opportunity at a singles run on the main roster instead of just by default being put with Asuka. That was like anybody could have done that. You know what I mean? Kairi also held the NXT Women's title. Yeah. But yeah, Kairi really, if anything, she was showcased a lot better in NXT than on the main roster. But I mean, it was, Asuka and Kairi, the Kabuki Warriors, became a legitimate tag team. It worked. But definitely she should have had a singles run. That's my whole thing with that. But yeah, I want to try to get excited about this Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but it's I mean, there's potential. I mean, we're getting Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match. Edge versus Finn Balor for the first time. So that has potential. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. Except it's a strap match. I don't really like that it's a strap match. Riddle versus Seth Rollins. I mean, we're getting that again, but they do both put on good matches. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Promising. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. I really do not want to see again, personally. Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. That should be interesting. But, I mean, there's some potential with this card, but, I mean, Extreme Rules isn't really one of the big WWE pay-per-views. You know what I mean? If anything, I am looking forward to Survivor Series because we are getting War Games for both the women and the men at Survivor Series. So I am looking forward to that. That has an opportunity to really blow up and be big for WWE. So I will be keeping an eye on that. I know Impact Wrestling has Bound for Glory coming up, I think next week on a Friday. That's weird. That's definitely weird. But yeah, on a Friday. But yeah. But let's see. That's pretty much all that I have. Oh, back to MJF. So this chip, the chip that he won, I hope they're not treating it like Money in the Bank. I really hope they're not doing that. I was just under the assumption that MJF was going to get his title shot at Full Gear, which I still think is going to happen. But I hope they're not treating this poker chip like the Money in the Bank, because that would suck so badly. Because Money in the Bank is trash. That whole concept is trash. But we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much all that I have. John Ali says, I'll be watching Extreme Rules to see who the White Rabbit will be. Not interested in Liv and Ronda. Looking forward to War Games at Survivor Series. Bummer that Regal can't scream War Games. Yeah, that is true. Oh yes, the White Rabbit. I think it's gonna be Bray Wyatt. I think it's just a matter of time before he shows his face. But we'll see. I think it's just a matter of time. But yeah, I'll probably watch Extreme Rules with my father. But yeah, I mean, I'll try to get excited about it, but I'm just not there yet. But the go home shows are next week. So we'll see what happens. But the card, I mean, there's only 6 matches on the card and only 2 title matches. So maybe Bobby Lashley will get a chance to defend the U.S. title, or because I mean, we already know Gunther is going to defend the IC title next week on SmackDown against Sheamus. So my only hope is maybe the U.S. Championship may get defended. So we'll see. Hey, Jesse, what's up? Saw you in the crowd at the DPW show. Nice. The Jungle versus Maya match was fun. Jungle Buster for the win. Dude, I was shocked that she even pulled it off. I didn't think she was going to pull it off. I thought that was it when she did the hammer throw power bomb. I thought that was it, which I was so shocked when Maya kicked out. And then she pulled off the Jungle Buster. I was like, dang. I mean, that was a big crowd pop for Jungle Kiona when she hit that Jungle Buster. That was sick. That was oh so sick. And yeah, Maya had her meet and greet after the show, so thought that was pretty cool. She chilled out with the fans. So that was really cool. Oh, and Jesse, I don't know if you saw, but Jungle Kiona at the Carolina Classic, we're going to get Hayan and Janae Kai in a tag team match teaming up to face Jungle Kiona and Sumi Sakai. Sumi Sakai and Jungle Kiona will be teaming up at the next DPW show. That's going to be interesting. Sumi Sakai and Jungle Kiona. That's going to be cool. That's going to be really cool. So definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, sounds awesome indeed. But don't sleep on Hayan and Janae Kai. The kick demon. She's good. And Hayan is really good as well. So that should be a great match. That should be a really great match. But Jesse, are you ready? Are you ready for the 5-star Grand Prix finals? I'm actually going to watch the archive tomorrow evening. Since it doesn't display for me until 2 a.m, so it'll be pretty late. But I'm gonna catch the archive because I did order the pay-per-view, but I'm gonna watch the archive tomorrow evening. I'm gonna do a watch party with some friends from a pro wrestling Discord that I'm in. So I'm probably gonna have to dodge social media for the most part tomorrow until the evening. Jesse says, I sure am watching the 24th show tonight, catching up. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Got 13 matches, 12 of the remaining matches, and then the 13th match will be the finals between the Blue Stars and the Red Stars. Man, that's gonna be big. Got that Royal Quest II as well. So got a lot to look forward to. And I'm looking forward to some more announcements from the show as well. We'll probably get to hear maybe some more announced teams for the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. We know we're going to get Nanae Takahashi and Yu. I'm sure we're going to get Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamitani, Aphrodite. I'm sure we're going to get Fukuoka Double Crazy, who won the Goddess Tag League last year. So I'm sure they're going to be back in this tournament. I think we're probably going to get maybe Julia and Mai Sakurai. They've been kind of teaming up as well. Probably get Micah and Himeka. That could be a good team for the Goddess Tag League. Probably get Momo Watanabe and Starlight Kid, perhaps. Risa Sarah and Suzu Suzuki, perhaps. I mean, there's a number of teams they could use for the Goddess of Stardom Tag League, to be honest with you. So it should be interesting. Should be really interesting. And of course, this weekend, the IWGP Women's Championship Tournament kicks off. Ava White, alpha female. So got that. Kyrie will take on the winner. So there's a lot to look forward to this weekend. It's gonna be crazy. But that will be all for now. I'm gonna get caught up on some rest because I've been crazy busy this week, helping a friend of mine move and just traveling back and forth. So I'm gonna get all rested up and ready for all the festivities tomorrow. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see who gets crowned the winner of the 5-Star Grand Prix. Of course, Shuri won it last year. So we're going to see who could pull it off this year. But anyway, rest in peace, Antonio Inoki. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And like I said, even though Royal Quest II won't be streamed live, I will give my recap once I'm able to watch the VOD. And I will probably try to give my recap of the 5-Star Grand Prix finals on Sunday, probably Sunday evening. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be a fun weekend of pro wrestling. But anyway, for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. Everybody stay safe. And I will see y'all very soon. Love y'all. Peace out.